We live. What's going on, YouTube? I think we live on Twitter right now as well and Twitch. We're not going live on Facebook this time, so just YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And if this your first time checking in to us, man, make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hit the thumbs up button, man. Give us those likes. The like button is free, um, so we definitely appreciate that. But I just wanted to get in here really quick and talk about, and I can't even see right now. Hold on. I just wanted to get in here real quick and talk about the NBA Finals, man. And talk about the Warriors. Mostly Steph Curry. I want to talk about. I ain't even go, dissect the game and the series that much, man, because I've been doing that throughout the series, and you can go back and look at some of the games I did post game lives on. But I did want to say congratulations for the Warriors, and especially Steph Curry getting that fourth ring. You could see that he was in tears and crying and all that stuff. So this one meant a whole lot to him. But I do want to talk about some of the things that, or some of the storylines that came out of the Warriors winning and Steph getting his fourth ring. And one of them is talking about him being possibly top 10 of all time and who's going to come out of the top 10 and all that stuff. And I think we're moving a little bit too fast with that. So I'm going to back it up a little bit and let's just talk about what does that put him now, because I'm not the type of person that has a knee-jerk reaction to a player winning the title. Personally, I had Steph Curry in the top five current players ever since his first MVP. You know, when the conversation was going on about who's the face of the league, is it LeBron or is it Steph and all that stuff, and everybody was saying LeBron's way better than Steph, and they would have so many darts to throw at Steph Curry. I was one of the people that was like, no, Steph is absolutely in the conversation for top two, top three player in the league at that time. And then, of course, Kevin Durant just came in he was already amazing. But to see how he performed in the playoffs and going head to head with LeBron while he was on the Warriors and getting those two Finals MVPs, I think that kind of catapulted him. A lot of people were saying that he was the best player in the league and not LeBron, but then people would throw Steph Curry like way below. And then when Giannis started merging and Anthony Davis won with LeBron, it was just this constant, oh, maybe Anthony Davis is top five. And this list comes out from ESPN and the NBA putting Anthony Davis in the top five. And then Giannis wins, all of a sudden Giannis is the best player in the league. And it's just this musical chairs thing. And that's what happens when a team has success and win a championship and their best player plays well. All of a sudden, we're just throwing them in all these different conversations. I think I even heard Giannis been in the GOAT conversation last year. I mean, it was just ridiculous, man. So you got to pump our brakes. Steph has always been a top five player, even a top three player. And just because Kevin Durant came, kind of was the best, not kind of, but was the best player on the team, and you kind of forgot about Steph a little bit, and then KD left, which left a huge hole in the Warriors team that they had to fill with players like Wiggins, Poole, and Otto Porter Jr. And keep in mind, they didn't replace Kevin Durant's production with just Wiggins. It took Kevin Durant, when he came to the Warriors, replace three players. He replaced Harrison Barnes. They got rid of their rim protector, which was Bogut and who was it? Bogut, and I want to say they had Spates, but mostly Bogut. Avesta Azili. So they had two rim protectors that they got rid of. They had a 6-man coming off the bench and Leandro Barbosa, who was giving them probably 10 points in the playoffs. They had Brandon Rush, who was a 3-and-D. They had Harrison Barnes, who was a 3-and-D. So it was multiple players that filled a particular role or more than one role on the Warriors team, and it made it work. But they wasn't great players like Kevin Durant. So when they was on the biggest stage, you seen Harrison Barnes shrink. You didn't, things of that nature, right? Bogut can stay healthy, stuff like that. So getting rid of all of those guys, KD actually came in and filled more than one role, and he came in, of course, team's best player, go-to guy for points, team's leading scorer, but he was also asked to be a rim protector in that depth lineup that was, kind of a small ball lineup with him at the 5 and Iguodala at the Iguodala and Draymond both at the 4 and the 3, and then Clay and Steph. Where they switched everything, and the only rim protector they had was Kevin Durant. So everyone thought that was going to be a fail point. And you get rid of Bogut, who was a rim protector. You get rid of Vesta Ezeli, who was a rebounder rim protector. And then Kevin Durant came in and was able to rim protect in those lineups, switch on screens on the wing, and also rebound at a high level on top of being this dominant scorer that he was. So I say all that to say this. He replaced 3 people when he showed up. And when he left, the Warriors had to find 3 people that was going to replace Kevin Durant, and which they found in Wiggins, Poole, and Otto Porter Jr. Just keep that in mind. Just think about that. They used 3 players to replace KD. So anyway, what I wanted to get into is where Steph is now, right? And I don't remember a lot of ESPN rankings the last couple of years since the Warriors been missing the playoffs. I don't remember them having him top 5, but he should have been in the top 5. So currently, where I think he's always been, but now the naysayers can't, and that's kind of what happens. You have people who don't want to put you in a certain place, but you have to force them to do it. Well, they have no choice, or they're going to look silly, right? So people that's realists always known Steph Curry has been one of the top 3 best players in the league for the last 8 years, right? But when he missed the playoffs 2 years in a row, that gives other people reasons. Oh, let's take him out. This guy's better than him. This guy's better than him. There's nobody been in the league the last 8 years better than Steph except LeBron and KD. Not even Giannis, not Jokic, not AD, not Kawhi, not PG-13, not Kyrie. Steph has been better than all of them except Kevin Durant and LeBron James. And that's the truth. So, yes, he's top 3. But now, since he's proven it to the people who needed it to be proved to them, he got the MVP in the finals. He won it and showed you again he could do it because there were so many question marks with all his rings. The first one, as a matter of fact, I'll let Iguodala explain it. Here's how he explained
it. This one holds a lot of weight just because of all the shots, each championship they threw at us, or particularly they threw at Steph, the Finals MVP in the first one, and then KD, the best player in the world, trying to say that was unfair, and then you go a year where you win they win 15 games, and then last year not being able to get to the playoffs, and for everything to come back together the way it did with me leaving and then coming back, and different role, different capacity, and then having amazing teammates, and a different set of supporting cast. This guy right here was huge for us. Earned himself a big payday this summer. Really happy for him, Wiggins, Jordan Poole, the growth of those guys. But more than anything, Steph. I think he solidified himself today. As not even today, just his career as the best point guard of all time.
That's huge what he said at the end, but let me address the point he made before. That the question was that did this championship actually hit a little harder or hit different than all the other ones? And he said, yeah, this one holds some weight because there was so many question marks surrounding Steph and the first 3 that they got. In the first one, Steph didn't play spectacular in the finals, but they won it. But they gave Finals MVP to Iguodala. So that was something that people hung over Steph Curry's head unfairly, but they did, right? There's not a lot of superstars that lead a team to the championship win MVP in regular season and then win a championship and not get Finals MVP. That just usually don't happen, right? So as great as Kobe played in some of those finals, especially the playoffs, I think Kobe and some of those for that three-peat that they had with the Lakers, Kobe and Shaq, Kobe kind of outplayed Shaq all through the West because the West had the most dominant big men that can kind of match up a little bit with Shaq. But when they got to the finals against the East, there wasn't a center on the East that could even touch Shaq, right? Shaq always had the most dominant finals, but the playoffs, I think Kobe really carried the team. But Kobe also performed well in the finals. But there is no way that they was going to get an MVP other than anybody but Shaq. If you're the best player and you play well, either equal or slightly above your normal averages or your normal performance, I don't care what your co-star do, he's not getting MVP, right? So with all that going for you, and Steph wasn't able to secure the MVP, that's something they hold over for their first one. And then on top of that, they played a team who lost their second and their third best player with the Cavs, and just LeBron, facing them without Kyrie and Love. So they're looking at it like, man, you probably wouldn't even won that one if these guys wasn't injured. And then they come back the next year and play the same team healthy, and then they lose. So they was like, yeah, see, you lost to the Cavs when they was full strength. We don't think you could have won beat them the first year, and you didn't even get MVP. So their first one, they were like, oh, okay, whatever. Then the second two he got, KD was there. So he took a lot of shine Steph could have got. Plus, he got both Finals MVPs in those cases. So that's something else they hang over the head. And then the fourth championship they went to, KD gets hurt. Steph couldn't lift them out of the hole that was dug by the absence of KD. And then somewhat Clay after game 4 or 5, I think, when he got hurt, and they hang that over his head as well. He lost to Kawhi in Toronto. So that's why I was shocked when I seen him in tears when they won this one, because I'm like, he got 3 already. I never seen him cry before. That lets you know that it really did bother him, the talk that was around trying to discredit him for the rings that he did get, because he wasn't able to play his best basketball in those finals, and then he played alongside KD as well. So I think that's why everybody had the ammo to use to have him not in the top 5 the last two years, which is ridiculous to me, right? However, I do not think being the best player in the world is something that's musical chairs where you can, whoever wins it that year is all of a sudden the best player in the world. KD and LeBron. Well, LeBron was the best for a long time, right? And then KD came behind him and was creeping up on him. The only thing he was missing was the hardware. The only thing he was missing was getting that ring, right? And he took a shortcut. He said, I can stay in OKC, but I want to prove to everybody that I'm better than LeBron. And what better way to do that is to meet him in the finals and show that I'm better than him. So I think that was kind of on Kevin Durant's mind. Let me take this shortcut. Let me go ahead and go to the Warriors. That way I know I'm going to see I'm going to see LeBron in the finals, and I'm going to show y'all. And he showed you 2 years in a row. So he gave us all the ammo we needed to say, man, yeah, he's the best player in the league now. It used to be LeBron, but we just seen them go head to head in the finals, and LeBron had nothing for Kevin Durant, right? That's what everybody wanted to see, and we saw it. But what ended up happening is half the people that were realists was like, yeah, KD, he was already awesome, but we just needed to see him do it on the biggest stage. And not only did he do it on the biggest stage, he did it against the player that used to be the best player in the world, right? But the other half of people were saying, well, you only won because you was on the 73-19. So he wanted a new challenge and said, okay, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna create my own squad, and I'm gonna do well with that. So he's in the process of doing that now. But that was a unique situation because Kevin Durant was already someone that we thought was spectacular and on a whole different level than everybody else. So seeing him face the guy that everybody regarded as the best on the biggest stage and beat him like that, it was really easy to go ahead and say, okay, now it's a changing of the guards. Now it's KD, right? But what ended up happening is KD gets hurt, he misses a season, and then Giannis goes crazy. And then Giannis wins a ring. And everybody was saying, oh man, this is the best player in the league. Best player in the league doesn't work like that. You know, just because he won, right, doesn't mean he's the best player in the league. And when you do silly things like that, now you got Steph that won, and by that logic, oh shoot, I mean, he's the best player in the league. So anybody that's a top 5 player in the league currently, if they win it, but because same thing happened, LeBron won it in the bubble. All of a sudden, everybody, oh, he's the best, and he got it back from KD. KD's not the best no more. It's LeBron. You know, so it's just like a musical chairs with that title, best in the world. It's basically, if you're in the top 5 and you win it that year, we go give you best in the world. If Embiid would have went and won it this year, someone would have said he was the best in the world, and that's not what it is. The best player in the league to me right now is Kevin Durant. Right? I would even give Steph second best. To be honest with you, I probably would give LeBron third best. Then I would go with probably Embiid. Maybe Jokic after that. Kawhi healthy, or be in that conversation if he was healthy. One person I don't have in there that everybody think should be in there is Luka. I don't have Luka in there, and that's a whole nother video I get into. But for current players, yes, Steph is in the top 5. He's top 3 for me as far as being the best in the world. Nope, that's still Kevin Durant. So another thing that was coming about is now where this this 4th ring put Steph Curry at as far as his position all time. And I don't know if you're like me, but most people have Magic Johnson a lock for the number 1 best point guard we've ever seen. Magic is a lock. Most people had Isaiah Thomas right after Magic. That's the same way I had it. And then I had Steph Curry 3rd. And then I had Oscar Robertson 4th. And then I had CP3 5th. Right? And the only thing people disagree with me on is they want Stockton in the top 5. He's just not in my top 5. I think CP3 is better than him. I know what he has accomplished. I know what he represents as a point guard and a pure point guard and a passer and a person that gets multiple steals a game. I get all that. I give him his due credit. I think he's between 6 and 7 greatest all-time point guard. Because right after number 5, it's either gonna be Stockton or J. Kidd for me. I think J. Kidd was a better defender, better rebounder. They gave you just as good as passing as Stockton did, but of course, he's number 2 on the all-time list, and Stockton got him beat by like 4,000 assists and 4,000 steals. But Kidd is number 1, and he's number 2 on steals and assists. Stockton's number 1, but Stockton got a huge gap on him. I get it. Numbers look great, but that doesn't tell the whole story for me. So, with that being said, is it time to move Steph Curry from the number 3 spot for all-time point guards into the number 2 spot past Isaiah Thomas? And for me, it's really tough. For me, it's probably going to be it's probably going to happen soon. I think what I want to do is don't move him nowhere on the all-time list, whether it's by his position or by player period. I just want to wait till his career is over. But when it's all said and done, when we start looking at it, I think Steph is going to be number 2. Now, the question is, and what Iguodala said at the end of that clip I played, is that he thinks Steph has already solidified himself as the best point guard we've ever seen. It's boy, you go out of tough. That's a hard sell to get past Magic. Getting past Isaiah, okay, cool. I think Steph got the resume and the game, which is very important. You just can't have the resume. You got to have the actual game as well, right? I won't put an incomplete player over a complete player, even if his resume was better. His resume has to be significantly better in order for me to put you past somebody that's a complete player, right? But I think Steph game as a player allows you to do that and move him past Zeke. I still got him at number 3 for now, but very soon, and at least by the end of his career, I think Steph is going to be the second best point guard of all time, and the possibility for him to be the best point guard of all time is there. If he just do some amazing, a couple of more amazing things. If he mess around and get another ring or two, which is possible because he got this same team coming back, and you get to add Wiseman to the mix. Wiseman is an amazing player if he still stays healthy. Y'all go see that next year. But man, this man mess around and win one more, at least, or two more. If he three-peats, oh man. Yes, I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to put Steph at the number 1. But right now, he's steadily moving past Isaiah. So I give him that. Now, last but not least, Kendrick Perkins, he came out and said Steph Curry has earned his seat at the table with Kobe, Michael, LeBron, Shaq, Tim Duncan and all those guys, right? Magic. He left out a couple of names, but I'm not going to have that knee-jerk reaction where I all of a sudden say he's a top 10 player. I think the top 10 that we got is so solid that you got to go above and beyond and do something so spectacular to move these guys out of here. I mean, because we're talking about Michael. That's a lock in the top 10. I don't think he's ever coming out. He might not ever come out. It's been a GOAT. All right. You got Kareem. He's a lock. You got Kobe. That's a lock. LeBron. That's a lock. That's right. So that's 4. Bird 5. Magic 6. And this was get tricky. Tim Duncan 7. And it's kind of funny that we got Isaiah. Everybody agreed that Isaiah is the second best point guard of all time, but no one has Isaiah in their top 10, which is crazy to me. There's only one point guard in the top 10, and that's Magic. Every other position got multiple guys. Shooting guard got Mike and Kobe. Small forward got LeBron and Bird. Power forward got Duncan and Duncan might be the only power forward in there. But we got centers. We got Kareem. We got Wilt. Bill Russell. That's 3 centers. And Hakeem. That's 4 centers. I don't have Shaq in my top 10. Right. So I got Magic, Kareem, Kobe, LeBron, Bird. Did I say Magic? Michael, Kareem, Kobe, LeBron, Bird, Magic, Wilt, Russell, Duncan. That's 9. And number 10 is going to be between who you like, Shaq or Hakeem. Right? Which is very tough because we still ain't even said Dr. J. So the next 10 is I think that is this is how I got it. I would say number 10 can be, I think number 10 is the only spot that Hakeem has or Shaq, whatever one you got in there. Both of those guys can be jumped over. Right? So Hakeem or Shaq, whichever one you got in there at number 10, I think both of them can be leapfrog. But the rest of them, Wilt, Russell, Magic, Bird, Kareem, Michael, LeBron, Kobe, Duncan, none of those guys can come out. So what we're doing now is we're just like the top 50 players of all time. We got the 50. We're not taking nobody out of the 50 to put someone in. It's just a new list. So now we got 75. We added 25 more. What we're doing now with this era and the era before us is we're creating the new top 10 or the second top 10. The first one's solidified except for one spot. It can be changed. So Curry can get that spot, but so can KD. KD can get that spot. They're both still playing. KD or Curry can get the number 10 spot. But what's going on now with the second 10 is that we got a competition between who's going to be the first guy from the second top 10. Curry and KD is competing for it. Shaq is already kind of there. Dr. J is there. I think it's 4 guys is there, right? Dr. J, KD, Curry, Shaq. Who's the number 1 on that second 10? Right now it's Curry. Curry and KD both are still playing. It can't be KD down the line. As a matter of fact, I think it was KD before this past year in my book. You know, so I kind of switched Curry out with KD. So KD's number 2, Shaq's number 3, Dr. J number 4. And I think that's the best way to do it and most responsible way to do it. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already done it, and make sure you share this as well. We'll get back on here probably again tomorrow, do another live, or I might just drop another reaction video to something. But I appreciate y'all. Peace.